Ooh, it's red to be alive. Ooh, it's red to be left tonight. Ooh, it's red to be alive tonight.
Good afternoon and welcome to the vlog. So this is going to be just a quick chit chat. Hopefully it'll be quick. I want to try to keep it kind of brief. I'm waiting on the bus for Kenan, and I thought it would be a good opportunity to just sit down and talk to you about something. As you see from the title, am I depressed? And I think the answer to that is absolutely yes. I think I am depressed. Now, when you think of depression, most people think of someone who can't get out of bed, they're crying all the time, they don't feel joy, they can't go to work, they can't take care of themselves. And that's true. Depression does manifest itself that way in some people, but in me, it does not. I am considered high functioning, and I have dealt with depression in my past. And this time, I just didn't see it. Sometimes it's really hard to see it when you're high functioning. And I think I really realized that I was dealing with depression when I had a symptom of anxiety. Kenan, over spring break, which was last week, went to the beach with his youth group. And I had so much anxiety about him being gone from me. I worried, I panicked. It was awful. It was debilitating in a lot of ways. And it was completely unfounded, you know. I almost just begged him not to go. That's how bad it was. So, when that happened, I started treating myself for that anxiety naturally with like magnesium. Magnesium works wonders with me when I start to have what I call the what ifs, the what if anxiety. What if this happens? What if Jeremy dies? What if I lose my job? What if my car dies? You know, whatever. When I start having the what ifs, when I take magnesium, it tends to help me. So I took some magnesium. I also took, I think it's called L-thiazide, a vitamin, and some passion vine tea, things like that. And then it just seems like once I started feeling better that I realized, you know what, girl, I think you are depressed. And then looking back over the past couple of months, a lot of things started to make sense and go, yeah, that's a symptom. Yep, that's a symptom. You're definitely depressed. So I figured I would talk to you about that for a little bit. So it all started, I guess you all can guess if you watch my channel, when Jeremy had his heart attack on Christmas. Now, in the hospital, we were only there, a few days. He did really well. They don't think he has any damage to his heart. He's doing extremely well. And being in the hospital and taking care of him, I was very focused on him and very strong. And I guess it was kind of like a delayed reaction that when we got home, everything that I saw around me reminded me of that night and what had happened and what could have happened. And the first day that I was home, I was a complete mess. I was falling apart. I couldn't look at the Christmas tree. I couldn't look at the baseball cards that were on the table that we were sitting at when he first started feeling a lot of pain. Everything reminded me, and I just hated it. I hated seeing all that Christmas stuff. Now, I forced myself during that time to like turn the lights back on the Christmas tree. And I reminded myself of how blessed we are. And that it could have been so much worse. But I tell you, never in my life have I ever wanted to put up Christmas stuff as I did this past year. And I felt so much better once everything was put up. And I put it out of my mind and I thought everything was fine. But really, in my life, things weren't fine. And now that I look back and see, there was lots of signs. One of the first signs was that I was doing keto, and I was doing really good on keto. I was losing weight, and I was enjoying it. But then when Jeremy had his heart attack, he can't eat like bacon and things like that, and I'm not going to eat it in front of him. So the doctor recommended the Mediterranean diet. And normally, anything like that, I would just dive into it, look into it, and just throw wholeheartedly into it. Like when Jeremy got diagnosed with diabetes, that afternoon, I went to the library and got every book on diabetes that I could find and read them from cover to cover. That's just the way I am. I want to know. But I found myself, I kind of looked into the basics of the Mediterranean diet. But, you know, I haven't read a book. I don't find myself interested in it. I can't make myself interested in it. I've tried to look up recipes online, and I feel tired when I start looking through them. I'm just like, I don't feel like this. I don't have the energy for this, which is not normally like me. And I've been going to my coping mechanisms for stress a lot. You know, I'm fat. So a lot of my coping mechanisms is food. And I've been keeping like cookies around the house and things like that. Sugar. I really shouldn't do that. And I haven't been doing that until recently. And I notice it's creeped up more and more, keeping chocolate around the house and cookies and eating a couple cookies and drinking Coke Zero and stuff like that, which I shouldn't be doing. Another one of my coping mechanisms is my art. I have an art studio and I do mindless art. It's nothing major. It's like collage. And there's something zen to me about cutting out pictures and gluing them down and making something new. It means nothing, but it's stress relief for me. However, in the past several months, I have wanted to spend every waking moment in that room, and that should have been a flag to me. Hey, something's wrong, because you're trying to cope with stress 24/7. Maybe something's wrong. Looking back, I'm like, aha, I'm having the aha moment right now. That really shouldn't, you know, being in my stress relief shouldn't be my only interest. And really it was my only interest. I started losing interest in anything else except for doing that, watching TV. We've had some pretty days, and I have any other time I would want to be out in the yard and gardening. And this year, I'm just like, I've done a few things, but it was like I had to force myself to do it. And that's really what my life has been. I have to force myself to do anything. And I feel like everything requires a lot of work. But I'll get back to that in a moment. Bible study. I love Bible study. And I had not picked up my Bible until last week at all after Christmas. And I forced myself to last week. When I started to realize that I was depressed, I'm starting to make myself get back into my interest to get over this. My hair. I just now colored my hair and it was looking so gray, and I told myself, oh, it's because I don't know if I want to color it purple again or if I want to go with a different color. But that's the problem. I was not making a decision, and that's part of depression, is not making decisions. Even filming. You know, I was telling myself things like, oh, well, I'm not doing any YouTube videos because I don't have a good place to film in my house, and I don't have good lighting, and I need to find a place to film. When, you know, here I am sitting in a car filming. You know, I don't have to have perfect lighting. But it was because it just was effort, and it was just, I don't have interest in doing anything. Cooking. Cleaning the house. Now, I've been cleaning the house, but it takes tremendous effort. And I've noticed that the house seems to be getting away from me. It just, like, the bedroom's messier than it usually is. The living room's messier than it usually is. The dining room's messier than it usually is. But it feels like I'm working all the time. But I'm not getting as much done. And it's the same way with work. With work, I keep telling myself, oh, well, I'm not doing videos and things like that because I'm so busy. I'm so busy at work. But when I really stop and look at it, I'm really not any busier. It's just taking me longer to do things. Because it's just requiring a lot of effort to concentrate and get my mind into it. When it used to be easy. And even going with work, I find myself being irritable with everybody. I'm just irritated with my coworkers and irritated with my clients over little things. You know, it's so bad that even I'll be on a conference call or something, and one of my coworkers, I'll start getting worked up, and I won't even realize it. And one of my coworkers will go like, you know, to tell me to calm down. That's not me. That's not right. I'm Mrs. Cool. So if I'm losing my cool, something's definitely wrong. So yeah. So what am I going to do about it? That's the underlying question, right? Well, I've already touched on it for one thing. I'm going to try to get my life back. I'm trying to go back to do the things that bring me joy. One of the things that I did a couple of weeks ago was I started a clogging class. I've always wanted to learn to clog. So I started that, and I'm really enjoying it. So I'm starting to put effort towards that. I colored my hair. I picked up my Bible. I'm continuing to do those anti-anxiety things because it's going to help my depression as well. So I'm taking my magnesium. I'm drinking my tea. I'm doing the L-thiazide or whatever it's called. So yeah, and I can really already tell a difference in just a day, and it's just been a few days. I'm not having that anxiety. I don't feel as irritated. I went back to the office today, and work wasn't as hard. I was able to concentrate a lot better. So things are getting better. But the biggest thing about this kind of depression is recognizing that you are depressed. Because it's hard to see. And not a lot of other people outside of you are going to be able to see it. If I went home and asked Jeremy right now, do you think I'm depressed? He's going to say no. Because what does he see? He sees a wife who cooks him dinner, who's spending time with him. We went out, we did things, it's been fun. But yet last week, I was home all last week because of spring break. And I didn't leave the house once. And on Wednesday, I told Jeremy, I was like, I got to go get cat food today at the store. He came home that night. He's like, did you go to the store? And I was like, nah, I'll go tomorrow. He came home Thursday. Did you go get to the store to get cat food? No, I'll go tomorrow. That's not right. Friday morning, he actually got up before work. He went to the store for me. So if he even like looks in his heart of hearts, he's going to realize something's different about me. And the fact that I have lost a lot of interest in gardening and YouTube and all that. That I'm retreating. I'm pulling away. And if I kept pulling away, then maybe it would come noticeable. Because, you know, even if I look back, I think of times that we were together and he'd go, do you want to go do something? And I'd go, nah, I don't feel like it. Or he'd go, what do you want to do on Saturday? I'm like, I just want to stay home and play in my art room. Or work was hard for you this week, honey. Let's just stay home. Because I just did not want to do anything. Or when we did go out, like to eat or something, he'd go, aren't you going to film this? And I'm like, nah, I didn't bring the camera. Or I'd say, oh, I forgot the camera. So my plan of action is to take my life back. I'm going to go to clogging. I'm going to color my hair. I'm going to do my nails. And I'm going to continue to reach for life. until I have my life back, because I am blessed. A lot of it's going to be spiritual, getting my spiritual life back in order, because that has a lot to do with it as well. I'm going to spend time with my family, and I'm going to talk with them, and I'm going to be honest with them with what I'm dealing with. And I'm going to get through this. I've gotten through it before. People deal with depression in their life. Things happen in your life. I don't think there's anybody in this world that lives their whole life without having a period of depression. It's just a matter of recognizing it and then dealing with it. And you got to deal with it in the way that you need to. There's people that do need antidepressants. And if you can't pull yourself up by the bootstraps, as we say here in the South, there is a time to go to the doctor. I've been there. There was a time in my life where I absolutely could not pull myself up by the bootstraps, and I felt isolated and alone. I had retreated into the part where I felt like I was living in a world that nobody else was in, that they were in their world and I was in my own world, and I couldn't connect with them. And when I told my doctor that, he said, "You're depressed." And I was like, "Really? I am?" I didn't even know. Because I thought, well, I'm not crying all the time, and I'm not in bed all the time. I just feel weird. And he gave me antidepressants, and it was exactly what I needed at the time. I don't think I'm there at this point. I think at this point, I just need some water, lots of water, some good vitamins, some good eating, some good habits of exercise and all that. I need to get my hormones back in balance. I need to get my life back in balance. So that's it. That's it for today. Kennan's bus should be here shortly. Thanks for listening to my ramble section, and I hope that I will see you soon. And until next time, go out and make your life extraordinary, because I'm going to make my life extraordinary. Bye.
Follow me on YouTube, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Pinterest, follow me on Twitch, follow me on MySpace. What the hell is MySpace? Follow me on Musical.ly, follow me on Reddit, follow me on the sidewalk, follow me on the road, follow me on WhatsApp, follow me on Daily Motion. Follow.